without me.
Day 5, 9:52. We are here, Mesilas Yesharim in the Hakdama, and we have an amazing day planned for 8 minutes of beautiful Torah. So we say that we've said so far, Mesilas Yesharim is going to be a sefer where A, we know everything already. Things that are obvious to us. B, it's going to be things that people think they're too smart for. They like to do other things. They like to spend their time with other Torahs. They like to spend their other intellectual activities. That's B. And then C is that if you ask someone, they'd say, these are very important things. But what happens? We get to a point where we don't think it's important. And D, for day 4, we said that people that are smart are not going to know these very important things, and people that are not smart are going to try to learn them because people are going to think it's not for the highest intellectual people, and therefore it's going to be left with no one knowing true piety, no one knowing true chasidus. And with this, it's going to lead to big problems because we are going to be left without people understanding how to become true people that love Hashem and fear Hashem. And he continues, the last thing he said, which we will continue from, is that if we think that diving in snow or fasting long days or what else did he say? Saying long viduim or mizmorim, if these are the way to get to true piety, the last thing we will continue, we will start is kulam devarim asher ein haseichel nachlahem ve'ein hadas shoketa. These are things that will not satisfy the mind, and they will not make the brain, the intellect, be able to rest. Because these aren't things that use our brain. In order to become great in our relationship with Hashem, to fast for a long period of time, or to say long viduim, these are nice things, but they're not going to work on our yiras Hashem and our avos Hashem. These are things that aren't going to bring us close to Hashem in terms of our connection to Hashem. These are just things that maybe they'll hurt ourselves physically to try to get spiritually. But there are ways we can elevate ourselves spiritually. And let's continue and see where the Mesilas Yesharim goes from here. V'achasidus ha'amiti ha'nirtze v'anechma rachok mitzior sichlenu. The chasidus, the piety, the level that we're striving for. True piety, ha'amiti, it's true, that we want, that is wanted and desired by Hashem, is very far from our intellect. Ki zeh davar pashut. This is pashut, that it's going to be far from our intellect. Why? We have a Gemara. The Mesilas Yesharim is going to prove this from a Gemara. He's going to prove the fact that things that are intellectually stimulating to help us grow in our avodas Hashem are not easy. He says, the Gemara says, Milsa de lo ramya alea de enosh lav adaite. If we do not put our mind towards these things, Milsa is thing de lo ramya, that does not fall upon alea us, de enish, to do lav adaita. They will not be on our brains. What is this Gemara saying? If we don't think about these things and we don't put our mind toward them, then we're going to be left without knowing them. Things that aren't on our brain do not come to us. V'afal pisha kfar kevuyim belev kol ha'adam hayashar ha'aschalosa v'yisodosa. Even though these are things that are already set in the heart of people that are very straight. Yashar people, my yeshiva is called Shar Yashuv. I don't know why I said that. It's nothing to do with Yashar, but Yashar, I don't know why I thought Yashav and Yashar are not the same. But Yashar means straight, honest, good people. Even in these people that they might be in the Yisodos, the foundations of them, Im lo yasok behem yiraeh prata v'lo yikare yavor aleim v'lo yargish b'hem. People that are true emes people, people that are Yashar people, they're straight and they're honest and they love Hashem and they fear Hashem and they're spending all their time learning Torah. But these things are going to stay in the depths of their neshamas, in the depths of their bodies, if they don't talk about them, if they don't learn about them. If these things are not recognizable and they don't work on them, they're not going to feel them. They're yargish bum. They're not going to feel these very important foundations that will bring us closer to Hashem. And he's saying that this is even for the people that are Yashar, the highest level of people. Kal v'chomer, even more so for every one of us. And he says, continuing on, Re'eh ki ein divrei hachasidus ve'inyonei hayira va'ava v'taras alev devarim mutba'im ba'adam ad shelo yitztarchu emtsoim liknosam. See, because these things, ein divrei hachasidus ve'inyonei hayira, these things that are pious, and these very important principles of fearing Hashem and loving Hashem and cleansing our hearts and things that are natural in a person. He's saying these aren't natural. If a human being is created with a soul and trapped inside of a body, and our body, our physical body, that every single person, Jew, non-Jew, doesn't matter, 1, 20, 200, 100 years old, doesn't matter how old you are, your gender, race, doesn't matter. Everyone is created with a body. And that body wants you to do physical things. He tells you you need to eat, and he tells you you need to sleep, and he tells you that you need to walk around, and he tells you to do all these things. But he doesn't talk to you about spirituality. The body is purely physical. So these things, to love Hashem and to fear Hashem and to have a clean heart, they're not natural for us to think about because our body is consistently telling us about physical things. And therefore, until we get the means, the emtsoim, which means the different ways to liknosam, to acquire these very important, these fundamental principles in our relationship with Hashem, we're not going to get there. Because if we just let status quo go, and this is what he's saying, is it doesn't matter how old you are. You could be 1, 20, 100. Again, if you start today and you start thinking about these things, and you start trying to acquire them, and you try to overcome your physical desires. That's how the body works. And you start thinking about these things as spiritual goals, lofty goals, but they're ones we can attain. Then all of a sudden, it's possible for us to get there, to get to a place where we're not just thinking about our next meal, but we're thinking about our relationship with Hashem. We're thinking about how to become someone who loves Hashem and fears Hashem and has, when he says taras alev, it means someone that's consistently having their neshama, their spiritual aspects of their life overtaking their physical. And that's hard because, as he's saying, these are not things that are natural. It's natural for physicality to win out. But hopefully, when we talk about these 8 minutes a night, every night, for just a few principles, over time, we will have our minds change to think more in the realm of spirituality and not physicality. We will stop here for tonight. Have a great night.